What's up everybody? In today's video we have the build tier list from demigod status all the way to bad builds in NBA 2K19. If you guys could leave a like, it'd be greatly appreciated, and leave your comments in the comment section down below and tell me what you think are the best builds in the game and what are the worst builds. I need your guys' opinion. Let's make it a 2K community rant. Let's talk about it in the comment section. I'll reply to your comment, share the video to everyone in the 2K community so they can see this and have their own opinion on it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, old, or returning. 124,000 unique viewers per month. Be one of them unique viewers and hit that subscribe button to be part of the 2K20 grind. Anyway guys, let's get straight into the video. Start off the video, we're doing the bad builds list, then we're going to the good builds, the great builds, the overpowered builds, and then the demigod builds. And a little extra one, I'm going to put the underrated builds list at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. And I want your guys' opinions in the comment section down below. What are your opinions on this and what do you think are the best and worst builds in the game? Now I'm going to show you the graph if you can't tell by the pictures, but this is specifically only for the park. I'm not talking about Pro-Am or anything like that, even though the park builds can work in the rec center. I don't know about Pro-Am, I'm not talking about competitive. We're talking about just park builds that can also work in the rec center. Now, the bad builds, I want to talk about the first one, which is the playmaking slasher. Now, you guys know I hate this build. I hit 99 overall on it in NBA 2K18. Now, this is the playmaking primary slashing secondary. The reason why I don't like this build is because you can't shoot threes very well, you can't slash very well, you can't defend very well, you can't really do anything. It's like a really bad build all around. The badges are alright, that's about it on this build. The second one, we have the playmaking lockdown, playmaking primary, the lockdown secondary. Now if you switch it up a little bit, I don't know if it's really that much worse. Like, this might be a good Pro-Am build for the park, not so much. Not really that good of a build. It's not really... It's good on the defensive end, kinda. It's not really good on the offensive end unless you know how to dribble. And if you shoot threes, it's not going to go on that much unless you're from the corner, really. That's the second one. Now we've got the third build, which is the lockdown primary, shot creating secondary. Now if you switch it around, overpowered. But if you have it lockdown primary, shot creating secondary, ain't going to work that good. It's not really good on the offensive end at all, really, if you think about it. So, like, you might as well make a pure lockdown at that stage. Next, we have the glass cleaning shot creator. Who wants to make a glass cleaning primary, shot creating secondary? Not me. The next build we have is the lockdown playmaker. Now, we did talk about the playmaking primary. This is the lockdown primary. Again, not the best build for park. A lot of you guys probably think it's a really good build. If it is a good build, tell me in the comment section down below. If you have any arguments, tell me. This is just a discussion, and this is what my personal opinion is after playing the game since 2K10 and knowing the game a lot. And in 2K17 and 16 and 18, I know a lot about builds, and same with 19, I check them out all the time. So I'm just having my opinion. Next, we have the lockdown primary shot. Again, if you switch it around, overpowered. But lockdown primary, not so much. Next, we have the good builds list, as you guys can see on the screen. They are the rankings right there for the tier list. The good builds list, we have pure playmaker slash pure point forward. Yes, I'm only putting that in the good builds list because you can, with hybrid builds of that, they're going to be really good. But I really think it's solid at the good builds list. It's not the best, and it's definitely not the worst. It's in between, man. It's a good, maybe great build. I put in the good build list because I don't really want to put in the great one because I don't feel like it's going to be overpowered. But maybe when it's like a 99 overall or 95 and you got double takeover, even though double takeover doesn't really apply to it, double takeover just makes it last longer if you have a pure build. You guys know this. Then we have the shot creating slasher, shot primary slashing secondary. I think it's a good build. It may be even great. I may even push it up to great. I don't know. I'm really thinking about good or great for this build. I know a lot of good players use it, but for the casual players that play with the build, I don't think it's that good, to be honest. But I would put it maybe in the great builds list as the top priority for that build. Next, we have the sharpshooting slasher. So sharp primary slashing secondary. Maybe again it could be in the great builds list. I'm not going to argue, but I wouldn't put it in the overpowered or the demigod builds list. No, in my opinion, I wouldn't. Sharpshooting primary slashing secondary. A lot of people use it, but I really think there's a better hybrid build to put with a sharp or a slasher to make it even greater. I don't really rate it that high, but that's what I put that one at. The slashing playmaker. Now, the playmaking slash is a bad build, but slashing primary, playmaking secondary can actually work on the small forward sector, because if you're that big, you can drive and you can dribble. You can even shoot the corner three if you're really open. So that's why I'm putting the slashing playmaker in the good builds list, not the great. Next, we have the playmaking shot creator. So playmaking primary, shot creating secondary. I really think that the shot maker is better than the play shot. The play shot, I wouldn't really rate it as a good, maybe great. Again, the good to great build list is tight because there's so many I could put in there, but I put more of them in the good builds list because we've got a lot of good overpowered builds, but the play shot is in the good builds list. Next, we have the slashing primary, lockdown secondary. Again, could put way more hybrid builds. That's the one I want to talk about there. Next, we have the slashing primary, shot creating secondary. I'm going to put that in the great builds list, so don't think about that. That's going to be in the great builds list, so I'm going to put that in the great builds list right now. Next, we have the lockdown slasher, lockdown primary, slashing secondary. I wouldn't really rate it. Maybe at the small forward section, so I might put that in the great list. I don't know, to be honest, but at the small forward section, sorry, I'm rumbling a bit. Section is the lockdown slasher, in my opinion. Now we've got the great builds list. I did chuck about 2 or 3 builds into the great builds list just then. So this is the graph on the screen. Great builds list is the shot maker. Again, amazing build for the 2s, incredible build for the 2s. It's basically only a 2s build. Bring it to the 3s, not so much overpowered. That's why it's a great build, because it's a solid, perfect build for the 2s, but for the 3s and maybe if you're Pro-Am, it doesn't really fit in. Next, we have the pure glass cleaner. I would put that in the overpowered section, but pure glass cleaner is a great build because you need it's like a really good all-round build. It's not for shooting, it's good for screens, good for defense, good for everything like that, and I think it's a great build. Next, we have the sharpshooting shot creator. So sharpshooting primary, put it the other way around. I'm going to talk about that later. But sharpshooting primary, the reason I put it in great, because the shot creating sharp, you get better stats and better badges, in my opinion, because with the shot creating primary, it's way better than having the sharp primary, because if you have a sharp primary, you might as well just make a pure sharp, in my opinion. The next, we have the glass cleaning athletic finisher in the great section. I was even going to put that in the overpowered section. Again, it could go in the overpowered section. Tell me in the comments section down below if you agree with any of these so far, but that's in between the overpowered and great section. Next, we have the slashing sharpshooter. Again, great build. Then we have the sharpshooting primary, playmaking secondary. I think the play sharp is better than the sharp maker. The sharp maker is a really solid build. I used it in 2K18 and loved it, but I'm going to put that in the great section. Now we have the overpowered builds list. On the screen, I'm going to show you the graph. That is the graph right there for the overpowered builds list. Now, I'm going to put the pure slasher / athletic finisher in the overpowered builds list. Now, the reason I put in the overpowered builds list, because if you guys know on the park, a 6'10 or 6'8 pure slashing small forward, it's going to dunk on you 99% of the time. It's overpowered as hell, and it's hard to even defend it. I was really thinking of putting the demigod builds list, but I think it's solid in the overpowered builds list, in my opinion. Then we have the shot creating sharpshooter. Yes, I love this build so much because it's very versatile. It's great for the 2s, great for the 3s, great for the Rex, and it can even maybe work on the Prom. I don't know for sure, but I really think it's a solid build because you can fade away in the 3, you can do fade away middies, you can dunk, you can. The only thing that's lacking is the defensive end. It has no defensive badges. That's the only thing this build is lacking, and that's why it's only in the overpowered builds list. Next, we have the pure post scorer. The reason I put this in there because I got another post scoring hybrid. I put in the overpowered one. Okay. In the demigod one, sorry. Pure post scorer. If you have the takeover with it, obviously it's overpowered. I put it on overpowered because it's a great build, very solid build, especially for the 2s and for the 1v1s, but for the 3v3 again, it's not really that useful. Then for the last build in the overpowered builds list is the pure shot creator. Again, it can work on the 2s, it can work on the 3s, and it also works on the Rec Center from my experiences. Again, it's got great 3-point rating, great mid-range rating, got good dunking, good layups. It's got great, amazing shooting badges. And on the defensive end, it does lack. Obviously, that's why it's only an overpowered, because it's lacking one simple thing, which I think is great. But that's the overpowered builds list. Now for the demigod builds list, these are the demigod builds, as you guys can see on the screen from the little pictures. If you can't understand them, I'm going to tell you right now. We have the pure sharpshooter / stretch big. Yes, I put the pure sharp / stretch again. With the other ones, the shot sharp, it can be a shot stretch. So if you guys are wondering, it's the same thing. So the pure sharp, pure stretch, overpowered. You already know you can get a 99.3 on it if you're 5'7". But again, it's really overpowered because you could shoot over those. You know, you could shoot easily. You can play any position, play point guard to center. It's just overpowered. You know this ever since the game's come out. It's always been the demigod build that people go to. The next one is the slashing post scorer. That's why I put the pure post scorer overpowered and the slashing post scorer at the demigod status, because if you put that in the 1v1s, it's not going to lose. If you know how to play the game, a slashing post scorer, you can't beat it on the 1v1s. It owns the 1v1 court. It can also own the 2v2 court. And I'm not sure about the 3s. It can also work on the rec center. But it's the most overpowered 1v1 build. That's why I'm going to put it in the demigod section. Especially when it gets double takeover. You can't stop it, man. It's just overpowered. Next, we have the playmaking sharpshooter. Yes, I put it in there because you guys know there's a lot of demigod playmaking sharps. You got like Hank the Tank. You got Steezo. You got a lot of these players who are really good at dribbling and really good at shooting. Now, you guys see in the background of the footage, you see this. That's my playmaking sharpshooter. He can shoot lights out with only bronze, catch and shoot, bronze, silver limitless, and bronze deep deadeye. Like, it's just overpowered. You can't really stop it, especially if you know how to dribble. And it's good. It's pretty good on the defensive end as well, if you know how to play defense. Check out my latest video to tell you how to play defense on any build. I really think it's a demigod build, in my opinion, because of the badges and the stats and everything, especially if you know how to use it. The next is the pure, sorry for the chair, the pure lockdown defender. Yes, if you put a pure lockdown defender, if you put 2 on the court, you're disgusting, filthy. But 1, I've noticed this with 2K, right? If you made it this far in the video, type in the comments section GOAT for a little shout out in the next video. So with this one, the pure lockdown, I've noticed they have something called favoritism from 2K. You put them at the court, they can defend all 3 players. It's like there's something comes over them, especially when they get their grand badge. You can't make a shot even if they're just in the paint and you're on the 3-point line. For some reason, it still counts as a contest, even though it says open, wide open. But for some reason, 2K's like, pure lockdown with a grand badge in the court, you're not making that. I think that's why it is a demigod status, because especially if you're a 6'10 or 6'8 pure lock, you could shoot 3s. You have great defense, incredible defense. You got great inside game with the dunking and layups, obviously. But that is the demigod builds list. Next, we have the underrated builds list, which is my favorite build. The 2-way sharpshooter, the 2-way shot creator, and the 2-way glass cleaner. The reason why I put the 2-way glass cleaner in there, because a 2-way, so if you're a 2-way glass, you got the glass cleaner, and you've got either the lockdown or the rim protector. You know, rim protectors and lockdowns can shoot 3s, and then if you have the rebounding with them, you gotta get every single rebound. The 2-way shot creator, I don't really have to say anything. You've seen gameplay footage of it so much. I've made so many videos on it. Overpowered. And then the 2-way sharpshooter, you get a 93 ball. You get an 80 steal. You get like a 90 speed. You can do everything on the court except for posterize people, man. That's the only thing that build can't do. And the 2-way shot creator, the only thing that can't do is shoot half courts. The 2-way glass, the only thing that can't do is shoot from anywhere but the corner 3 on the park. But that is the builds list. I needed to ask your guys' opinion in the comments section down below. Tell me what you think. That is the video. I can show you on the screen one more time the builds list tiers. that is the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you're new. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Follow me on my social medias, by the way, man.